welcome to Crafty Southern Home. I am Christine. I appreciate you so much for stopping by. This week is going to be some thrift flips and flea flips. Now, that just means that some items I bought at Goodwill store and some I actually went to the flea market. I found this great little flea market not far from me and has some very good old finds. So anyhow, stay tuned because you're going to be seeing some more of those in future videos. So this is going to be the last of my winter decor items. So it's just 3 of them. Stay tuned all the way to the end. I appreciate you guys for watching. And remember, likes are always good. Thumbs up. Comments. I appreciate any comments you guys got. And so let's get crafting.
All right, you guys, we're going to get going here with project number 1. I found this pretty little frame at Goodwill. Y'all, just look at the detail on that. It is so pretty. Now, don't mind so much if they're wood. This is like a wood, I would say a wood product. I'm not sure it was 100% wood, but if they're wood or plastic, because once you paint them, it really doesn't matter. So I'm just taking a little tool and taking my backing off. I took my frame out. Not my frame. I took the glass and all out, and I'm going to coat this. I did all over it. I did front and back with 2 coats of white Adirondack chalk paint, and that is from Folk Art. Make sure if you're doing anything with some texture and you want the coverage of it, and in this case I did, I'm not going to distress this, that you do take your brush and just kind of pounce it and push that product into all the crevices. So, and again, I'm not going to distress this. If you were going to distress it, it really wouldn't matter. I also painted the back of the actual little holder. I painted that front piece of that because I'm not going to use the glass, and I'm going to decoupage. I painted that same white. Now, the reason why you're going to paint white when you decoupage is just to make sure a dark background may transfer into the decoupage, and you may see that coming through. So the white will make your decoupage actually pop. I'm taking my rub and buff, and this is gold leaf. I'm using a small paintbrush and going around the raised edges. I want to bring that detail out some more. So I'm going around the raised edges and painting, and then I'm taking my finger and just smearing that around to where I want it to be. I have a wipe there, so if I put too much of the rub and buff down, I can take my wipe to remove it if needed. But I just want to take all those edges and then get that rubbed in there real good. Then I'm going to take my decoupage paper, and when y'all see this, this is so pretty. Now, this is winter projects, but really this can be year-round. Probably any of these projects really could be year-round. But this is a beautiful paper that I found, and I usually buy my decoupage through Etsy. So, and I'm just going to simply measure how I want it placed according to that little backing there. Then I'm going to use my DIY liquid patina to put it down, and it's such a small surface that I didn't have to use what they call a starter strip, and we'll go over that later on. I just painted that liquid patina over all of it. You could use Mod Podge if you wanted to. And then I'm simply going to use my finger to just kind of smooth it out, make sure I don't have any air bubbles. And then I'm going to do a top coat of that liquid patina as well. When you do decoupage paper, please do a top coat for it. And also, I'm going to come back over my frame and top coat it because it's chalk paint, because chalk paint can chip easily, so you need something to seal that down. I just used a clear coat. You can use Big Top. Lots of times I use Big Top. Lots of people use polyacrylic brush on, so whatever you want to seal it with. And then this project is going to be finished, and look how beautiful that is. Okay, for project number 2, I found this pretty little church at Goodwill, and I'm guessing that was a stocking holder. There was only one of them. If there were 2, I would have certainly grabbed 2. And then I picked up these little wood plaques from the wood pile section at Hobby Lobby, but any kind of plaque, scrap wood, whatever would do for a base. I just want to take it off of that base that it's on, make my base a little bit larger. I'm going to save that base because I save everything just in case. Might want to make my own stocking holder for next Christmas. Never know. So I'm going to stain my base with a gel stain, and it's in the color oak. And I'm going to use this little foam brush instead of a regular brush. I find these are real handy for doing stain. I don't have to do the spread on, wipe off thing because these do a good job of doing that. And if you push it real well, it gets in all your crevices. So I just do 1 coat of the stain, let that dry. I'm going to come in with that same white Adirondack chalk paint. I'm going to paint the roof. Now it is a white snow effect to it, but it had some places that had popped off. So I'm going to come back and just do all of the roof. And then I'm only going to do 1 coat on my little, I'm calling this a church. I don't know if it's a church or a house, but I was calling it a church for the longest time. With a steep roof, it just reminds me of a church. So I did come and do 1 coat on the church. And you could do 2 coats if you want that coverage. I kind of wanted that metal to show through, and I did not come back and distress this either. So 1 coat, and then I also sealed it, and then I'm going to attach it to my new little board. So I kind of centered it, got my screws out, my little screwdriver, attach it to my new little board. Then you're going to see I'm going to take some florals that I had. They look like little shrubbery, so I'm going to just cut those down. I'm going to place 1 in each of the little screw heads. I'm just going to hot glue that. Then I cut down 1 a little bit smaller, and I am going to put that out front like there's a little piece of shrubbery there. And then this project is finished, but it really got transformed from being a stocking holder to now being a beautiful little piece to put on your mantle or a side table, and it really looks like winter to me. Last project, and this is my favorite. So, look at this little sign that I got from, I think I got this from Goodwill. So I was thinking I got one of these projects from the flea market, but I did not. Pardon me, I got them all from Goodwill today. So this little sign was obviously a little fall sign. Now I was trying to, I've seen several people do it. I was trying to peel the little paper. I don't know if it was too old. I tried spraying it with water. I tried all kind of little gadgets to try to push the paper off. Could not. So luckily on the back, and I could tell somebody had used to put something other on the back, so there was some paper pieces on there. I was able to take my little schoolie tool and some water and was able to clean all that off. Now I'm going to decoupage, so I wanted my surface to be even. So that's why I was trying to get that paper off, because it had torn in some places. So this side works fine. I'm going to cover that back side, and you'll see in a little bit what I do with that. So again, I'm going to use this white Adirondack chalk paint, and I do 2 coats on this. And then again, that's just for my decoupage paper to lay on, so that the paper, and this is a real light paper, so I do want it to pop. I want you to be able to see the detail in the designs on the paper. So once I do that, then I'm going to come in with my decoupage paper, and this is beautiful winter paper from Roy Cycled, and I get this through an Etsy shop as well. But y'all, look at these. Aren't these just gorgeous? So I had a time deciding which one to put on there, and I ultimately ended up with this little deer because he's precious. I'm going to use all these pieces at some point. You guys will see this Roy Cycle paper pulled back out because it's just absolutely beautiful to me. So I'm going to decide how I want it on here, and I knew I was going to have to frame it out because the paper is a little too small for the surface area. So what I'm going to use is it's called balsa wood, and it's pieces that I can get from Hobby Lobby. It's a real soft wood, so I'm just going to use it as a frame, and I'm going to do the sides. I'm going to do it all around, the top, the bottom, and the sides. So I'm just taking and kind of measuring where my paper is going to sit, so I'll know how much I'm going to have to cut into that other paper. I didn't want to cut my little polar bear's feet off, so I just wanted to measure it, and this gives me an idea of where I need to cut the paper so that I can frame it out and the piece will be covered. Now, I'm going to use my paintbrush and water like I normally do. I'm not sure why I did that. It's going to cover the whole piece, so I could have just cut the paper out, but I did use the paintbrush and water. If you were putting it on something that wasn't framed and it was going to show, you want your decoupage paper to have more of a raw edge to it than a smooth cut edge, if that makes sense. It just looks prettier laying in something. So I'm coming in with my DIY liquid patina. When I use this decoupage paper, rice paper to decoupage with, anything that's a thinner substance, I like to use this because to me it just lays down my project a little bit better. So I'm going to come in with a starter strip, and what that means is just start at the top or the bottom, wherever you want to start, but don't do a very wide strip, so that you lay your first piece down, get it set in place, and make sure there's no air bubbles. So I'm going to use my little brush at first, and I will come back later with my brayer tool and roll over all of it to get my air pockets out. So then you're going to do another little piece, lay it down, keep pulling it back, and just going in little sections, and that just helps to aid in not getting all these little bubbles on your project. Now, if you don't have a brayer, and I didn't for a longest time, I just used a brush. Use your fingers. This is not as thin as what they call rice paper. Rice paper is really thin, so you have to be careful with some of these papers. So then I'm going to set that. I've cut all my wood from my frame. Now, when I went back to Hobby Lobby, I didn't take my piece with me, so of course what I got was a little bit thicker, but I don't mind it. So I'm just going to use a combination of wood glue and hot glue, lay my little frame down. Then I'm coming back with my gel stain in the color oak, and I'm going to paint all my balsa wood that I put down, and I'm also going to paint the top and the bottom that were there. Now, it had some discoloration on it. I don't know if one time they painted it. I don't know. I was not worried about taking that out and making it all look even, because I kind of like the look of that. To me, this is more of a rustic piece, so I didn't mind that, if that makes sense. So then in the end, when I've got all of that done, I'm going to take a peel and stick piece of peel and stick wallpaper tile from Dollar Tree. It looks kind of like shiplap wood. And then I am going to simply put that on the back, measure it out, cut it, put that on the back, just so that back doesn't look so rough. And I've got some eye hooks. I am going to even those up on the sides on the top so that it can be hung from the eye hooks. I may go back and put some rub and buff on the eye hooks. That silver kind of stands out a little too much to me, but I'll decide that. And you'll see I'm using what they call little miter shears. Those are perfect for these projects. And this is soft wood, that balsa wood, so it'll definitely cut it. But those are perfect. So this is my favorite project. You guys will have to let me know what you think of all of these. Which one is your favorite as well? Again, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. And until next time, you guys, bye-bye.